Hello and welcome back to the Elevendy official YouTube channel. Today I will be doing some World of Tanks Mirny 13. And so yeah, let me just adjust the volume here because I was unprepared upon going into the video. But yes, so the goal of today is to play the exclusive game mode that Wargaming released for the their annual Halloween event, which in this case was for which is called Mirny 13. I'm not really sure about the origins of where that name came from, what it means, or what its significance is within the context of World of Tanks, but I do know that it's a PvE game mode where you play with a group of 5, and your objective is to go to these little checkpoints around the map and fight the bots to get Miriam. The substance is called Miriam, and you then take it to this large purple icon you can see on the map called Magnus, once you have enough, as you can see here, to fulfill the total amount that you need. So for now, that's the main objective, and we'll just go around, ideally as a team, and work together on collecting enough Miriam. So there are a maximum of 5 people, but you can also have 5-man platoons. So the platooning makes it much easier to work as a team, because typically if you're playing with 4 other random players, it's hard to make decisions together. You can ping the map and ping locations, like say, hey, I want to go here, and do that objective, but it doesn't always work out. Not everyone always listens and plays as a team, so playing in a platoon is usually your best bet if you can, to make the games go smoothly, make your likelihood of winning higher, etc., etc. Furthermore, there are 3 different tiers of difficulty, 1 through 3 obviously. One having only 3 phases. As you can see, it says phase 1 of 4. There are up to 4 phases out of the 3 difficulties. There are 3 phases in difficulty 1. There are 4 phases in difficulty 2 and 4 phases in difficulty 4, or sorry, excuse me, difficulty 3. However, each difficulty you go up, each phase also becomes increasingly harder, with the tanks, with the bots that you're fighting becoming increasingly higher in tier and doing more damage, and so on and so forth. Furthermore, there's also, so to clarify, I'm playing at difficulty 3 right now, with this platoon currently, so you'll be able to experience the game mode at its hardest to kind of estimate, well, do I think I can handle that, or should I go to a lower level? So yeah, and then there's a bunch of other intricacies to the game mode. There's different, there's regular bots that are kind of like this guard type that can be a variety of different vehicles. And then there are hunters, which randomly spawn and patrol the map, chasing you with very low shell velocity HE guns that can do a pretty significant amount of damage. I believe they spawn in groups of 4 on the difficulty 3. And so those are something you need to watch out for. Secondarily, there are also a type of bot called a Hedgehog, which are these little, if any of you have been around since the IS-8 balls, they're kind of like the IS-8 balls from many, many years ago when they did that event. The little spherical kind of suicide bombers that have very low HP. You can one-shot them with any of the tanks that you can choose in the game mode. But they also explode on impact if they can get to you and do 500 damage, so you have to be careful of those if they randomly appear and start swarming you. What else? Well, the most dangerous opponent that you'll face is most likely going to be the Immortal, because the Immortal is, as you would suggest, or as you might suspect, impenetrable. You can't do damage to it, and it has a radius around it that if you stay in too long, it will set you on fire. So you definitely have to make sure you steer clear of an enemy like that, because it will surely be your demise if you stay around too long. It's not too hard to outrun it because the Immortal is relatively pretty slow in comparison, but if you're something like a Goliath, which none of my teammates are playing right now, but the Goliath is like an adaptation to the M103. Yeah, it can get pretty ugly pretty quick. There are also different kinds of unique consumables. The ones that I have, I will outline for you. So this first one is called Born Ready, and it provides an instant gun reloading. It's a consumable that I would recommend very highly on autoloaders, like the Grenadier. Well, the Grenadier is an auto reloader, but the Hornet is a autoloader. So the Hornet being an auto reloader, the instant reload is super powerful because you can fire one full clip, and then as soon as you activate the consumable, you instantly have another full clip to shoot off. So that can be very powerful if you're in a tight situation where you need to kill one enemy very quickly and then instantly reload and kill another one. Same with the Grenadier, it's an auto reloader, so you can shoot 2 very high damaging HE shells and then instantly reload them and do it again. On something like a Cerberus, for example, which is a lower alpha damage but high rate of fire vehicle, it's not as useful because it doesn't do as much in terms of damage, and it can be useful sometimes, but not really as frequently. And then the next piece of equipment I have is called Emergency Repairs, which restores hit points, extinguishes fires, repairs damage modules. So it's kind of like all of the pieces of equipment, repair kit, med kit, and fire extinguisher all in one, with a 120-second cooldown, and the Born Ready has also a 120-second cooldown. The last and final one that I've decided to take on the Hornet here is Field Repairs, which instantly restores part of the hit points of allied vehicles with the ability's area of effect. So it's an AoE heal ability, which which also heals yourself if when you use it. So now we're getting to see the effect of the instant reload. I finished my clip, I reloaded, and instantly was able to shoot again. So that's very useful in that situation where I was getting chased down by a bot. I ultimately would have gotten some help from my teammates there, but it was nice to take it out before it took out more of my HP. So yeah, there are other consumables. There's a force field, like shield kind of consumable, which also has a 120-second cooldown. That one's more useful for something that's a little bit slower, maybe like a Goliath or a Cerberus that might not be able to escape the Immortal if it randomly shows up. I would suggest to use that one. There's also a turbocharger, which is also, once again, useful for something that's a little bit slower, like a Cerberus or a Goliath. Oh, and then here are rabbits. Rabbits are basically, well, they are Lux vehicles, and their sole purpose is to run away from you and your teammates, but they give very high amounts of Miriam, so you want to make sure that you get them as much as you can. As you can see, the Hedgehogs are also coming in. Just barely we avoid them. The Cerberus definitely would have died there if our teammate had not taken the shot and taken it out, because it does 500 health and they were on 300, so they would have definitely been taken out there. So at this stage, we are nearly to phase 3, and do remember that if you don't quite have enough amount of the total amount of Miriam that you need to get to the next stage, bots always spawn once you reach Magnus. So realistically speaking, if you think, oh well, we're just barely there, but we don't have enough time to go to a different stage, simply go to Magnus, where you have to drop off the Miriam, and you will very likely reach your goal because a full set of bots will spawn there. So keep that in mind for future. Also, as you can see, I still have 106 Miriam left over from the last phase, which is super helpful. If you do still happen to have time from during the one phase to the next, it's not a bad idea to collect extra Miriam than you need, because it will help you reach the next phase faster, especially because it gets increasingly harder. There will be more bots, the likelihood of your team getting split up is higher, so on, so on, so on. Seems like one of our teammates, I believe that's the one that's not in our platoon, is AFK, so that will make things a little bit more difficult. But yeah, just keep that in mind for when you're playing this game mode. Whatever difficulty you're at, collecting more than you need is definitely never a bad idea if you have the time. If you don't, it's not as great as an idea. As you can see, the bots have upgraded here. We're fighting Carnarvons. Usually it's a tier 8 standard vehicle that you fight after the on the final stage. It usually is tier 8 and above, and on the third difficulty, whoops, I shot my teammate, the bots start becoming very powerful, and I believe you eventually start to reach E50Ms, which are very high health and do a lot of damage and difficult to take down. So, oh, and there's the Immortal. Here we oh boy. Yep, okay. So the Immortal, yeah, very scary beast, and I just want to demonstrate what happens when you get shot by it. It does a lot of damage as a double barrel gun. It has a laser though, so it makes it very obvious as to when it's coming up on you, but you have to be careful because it is, even though it's slow, it can sneak up on you pretty quickly. So just be careful about that. We're gonna have to kill these bots very quickly here, or we will be toast. So yeah, just make sure you're, because the Immortal will show up on the map, and it'll also have a very obvious blaring. Yep, I'm getting a shot again. Uh-oh, this isn't looking too good. I think this might be the end of us, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, take this guy out. Oh, and the Hedgehog apparently gets to me. So yeah, that was an unfortunate series of events. Sometimes if the Hedgehog, even if you destroy the Hedgehog, if it's too close to you, the explosion impact will still reach you. And so you'll still get taken out, unfortunately. Our teammate seems to have just now finally no longer become AFK, and so of course it's a little bit too little too late, because you have to, especially at this stage, at the later stages of the hardest difficulty of this game mode, you definitely need to have all of your teammates together, working together as one. And obviously I could have been playing that a little bit better there, but I've also been trying to explain the game mode as best as I can. And yeah, so here's the Immortal, and looks like our teammate has given up, which, you know, that's fair, because I don't see how our solo Cerberus friend is going to have too much success being able to take this one out for us, considering they have 4 out of 500 Miriam, and they realistically are about to face the Immortal. So yeah, that's a whole lot of no good right there. And as you can see, that is quite the scary beast. So yeah, but like I said, this is the hardest difficulty, so if it seems like if this is a game mode that you play to enjoy more than trying to try hard, not saying that you necessarily need to try hard to win the hardest difficulty in this game mode. You just need to have, you know, a well-rounded team that works together. But if you just want to play this game mode for fun and have an enjoyable time and maybe escape from the the harsh reality of random battles or ranked battles, then I would suggest playing at a lower difficulty, because it is quite fun indeed. And even at this level difficulty, I personally find it more enjoyable, because it's quite frankly too easy when it's at the lowest difficulty. But that's just me. So our team does get taken out here. As you can see, the Immortal does show up, and that will be it for us. We got to phase 3 out of 4, and so yeah, there are also different missions that you can complete, some of which give credits, some of which give XP boosters that you can apply to your commanders, which will make it so you reach the certain point that you're trying to go to. For example, let me show you. So we get 90,000 credits. That's for the first day. We also Yeah, so complete the second phase of Immunity 13, which usually you should be able to do regardless of the difficulty, and that'll give you an automatic 50,000 credits. And then there's also event tokens, which you can use to go to the store, items for tokens, and you can buy a variety of things, directives, personal reserves, and crew books. I would recommend personally, if you are a free-to-play player especially, to get yourself the credit boosters, as many as you can, because realistically, Wargaming doesn't give them out very often, so it's probably going to be the best bang for your buck. They give directives out all the time, and they give these kind of boosters out pretty frequently, as well as training books, not as often, but and if you really need a universal manual, it's really expensive, but you can get one. And so yeah, that game was, I would like to demonstrate a game where we get all the way through so I can show you what it's like. So without further ado, let's get right into the next game. Alrighty folks, I'm back, and my game crashed just before we loaded into the game, so I unfortunately have missed out on the first few minutes of the game here. However, as I will demonstrate now, I have a turbocharger on this vehicle, so I can get to where I need to be quickly and efficiently. Unfortunately, it looks like 2 of my teammates have already died somehow. Probably due in part to me not being there helping out. But yeah, so game crash sucks, but it is what it is. Not much you can do about it, right? As you can see, I used the instant reload there to get another shot off quickly, take out the last guard Churchill, and there you go. So we're already down 2 teammates, but that doesn't mean the game is over, because as you can see here, the Phoenix respawns your vehicle with 50% of its hit points after your team enters the next battle phase. So if we can get enough Miriam, the total we need for the first phase, and get to the Magnus and drop it off successfully without us dying, we will be able to respawn the rest of our teammates that have already died and are out of the battle. So all hope is not lost. I have faith we can do this. We just have to get to where we need to go. So let's do that. Alright, Alpha T-30 taken out, and final guard Churchill. Oops, I think I got in the way of my teammate there on accident, my bad. And goodbye. Okay, so at this stage we're already at 80, let's see. I think what we do here is we go for here. Yeah. I think at this stage we're close enough to the maximum Miriam amount that we need to take to the Magnus, that we can just go and take out the bots that are actually at the Magnus location and have enough to be good for the rest of the phases. Which is good for us because there's only 3 of us left, and the less time we take, the better. As you can see, we only have 50 seconds left, so we gotta be quick about this. And make sure we get these bots taken out and have the amount of Miriam we need before the timer runs out. So let's be quick about it. Looks like I've gone the long way around. As you can see, this person's using the force field shield to protect themselves from damage, because the Hornet and the Grenadier are lightly armored vehicles, and they can take damage even from the smaller caliber shells quite easily. So as you can see, we only need 2 Miriam left. And there we go. Boom. So now that we've delivered the Miriam necessary for the first phase, we reload 2 of our teammates. One of which is using the Malachite, which is the T-54 vehicle that they have given out, in addition to the Grenadier, which you have to unlock with special missions. Oh, we want to go this way. Okay. That's fine. The Immortal is there, however, so I don't know if that's a decision we want to make. Oh no. One of our one of our friends might die already. We are in a platoon of 4, so one of us is always not going to be as coordinated as the rest of us, because we're all... They're in a team speak as far as I'm aware, and I'm just following the orders, but some people you get teamed up with are less inclined or less aware to go where you need to go. That's fine, because as long as you're working as a team, it doesn't matter as much. So as you can see, we're already getting Pershings and 4005s, which do significant damage. And so you got to be careful for sure. Do your best to stay out of their way and try not to take shots as frequently as possible. Sorry, alas, I don't have my team heal on this tank. I tried to do the team heal, but I have the turbocharger on this vehicle. So yeah, and you can set up your vehicle in any way you want with whichever equipment you choose, based on what you enjoy. So just because I have a certain layout doesn't mean you also have to do it. But the layouts I do have are conducive to the vehicle type that they are. So I would recommend it if you don't know which loadout to do. So only being on phase 2, there's not super big concern of us totally sucking out and losing. So as long as we can have a steady influx of Miriam and keep the team together, we should be okay. There's also yellow orbs that show up every once in a while, which are called anomalies, which give you special upgrades and boosts to your HP or your... for example, this one is called Inspire, which is an anomaly that improves the crew performance of your vehicle. And the Immortal is here. Oh boy, oh boy. Okay, time to turbocharge my way out of here. This is a perfect situation where this helps a slow tank like the Goliath to get away from a very unfortunate situation that is developing behind me. So... Oh, I'm still getting shot by it. Oh boy. Okay. So this is a point where I'm going to use my repairs because... Oh, I didn't kill the FE4005. That's unfortunate. Yeah. So we definitely have to be quick about it because we're very far away from our goal. And if we don't get to Magnus in time, even if we have enough Miriam, that could be quite detrimental for us. So... Oh boy, I'm taking so much damage from... things that I realistically shouldn't be. Okay, so my turret is broken. Awesome. So this is a point where I can use the turbocharger to run away as fast as I can. Looks like my teammates are having a fun time flying around and crashing into each other. So, like I was saying, even if you don't have... even if you do have the amount of Miriam you need for the next stage, if you don't get there in time, it doesn't matter because the timer will run down and you will all pretty much instantly explode before reaching there, because that's what happens. So we do need to make a beeline for it. I don't even know if we'll make it at this pace. Hopefully my turbocharger can help me out. Oh, we got some rabbits. That's actually super big, because we can kill those quickly and then... make our way up to the to Magnus, because like I mentioned earlier, the rabbits provide a much higher level of Miriam than pretty much anything else. Oh, and here's the first instance of the Hunter Panthers, which in this instance provide double the amount of they spawn in groups of 4, and they pretty much continue following you all the way. Oh no, I don't think I'm gonna make it. Oh no. Oh boy. Well. Yeah. And we all died. Okay, well, I think you all get the idea. I mean, I'm sure most of you that will be watching this video have probably already played it at least once or twice. So you get the gist of it. And we're also playing on a very hard difficulty, and I'm not in voice comms with them communicating things, and so on and so forth. But I hope that this video was informative, and interesting for those of you that might be curious about this game mode and what benefits you can get from it for actually playing, because some people were like, well, these rewards are pretty underwhelming, and I would agree, but if you are going to get any, I would still suggest to capitalize on the credit boosters, because those are one, pretty rare, and two, very useful for free-to-play players that need to grind credits out. So regardless of your skill level and whether or not you're going to play this game mode frequently or anything to that effect, I do wish you all a very wonderful, happy Halloween, and be sure to stay safe out there. And until the next one, hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you're not yet a part of the Elevendy World of Tanks experience. And I will see you guys all in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye. Oh, fantastic. My game crashed. That really is not good for this game mode. Fuck. Great. Great.